One of the big speculations about UFC 300 is the fact that we are going to see Israel Adesanya, Izzy, come back and compete for the middleweight title. Dana has said that this is going to be a card full of star power, right? Full of amazing guys and amazing fights. And one of the biggest stars in the sport, after Conor McGregor, is Israel Adesanya. But the question is, who does he fight? If the rumors are true that Izzy is going to be coming back and fighting on the UFC 300 card, who will his opponent be? There's a few names that are out there, but there are challenges with each and every one of them. And if Izzy is going to be the main event, co-main event, one of the top billings, having him on that card could be a huge risk to the card if these things fall through. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Ultimate Punching, the Ultimate MMA channel. Thank you guys so much for everything. We hit 100 subscribers last week, and for that, I'm really grateful. Also, happy holidays and Merry Christmas. If you like my content, I'd appreciate it if you hit the like button and you hit the subscribe button. It helps with the YouTube algorithm, and it helps me grow the channel. Israel Adesanya, they want him to come back UFC 300. That is the rumor. That is sort of the prediction that is out there. And I am down, of course. I'd love to see Izzy back in a place where he fights for a title, because that is really the only thing that should happen when Izzy decides to come back and fight. He should get that immediate title shot, assuming he wants it. The problem is, in January, UFC 297, Sean Stickland and Dricus Du Plessis are supposed to fight for that belt. April 13th is when UFC 300 is supposed to take place. So less than 3 months from when they fight for the middleweight title, at least one of them is going to have to turn around and fight Izzy for the UFC 300 card. So that's a really fast turnaround for anyone. And of course, the risk is that if both of them get tremendously hurt in that fight, to the point where they can't recover by UFC 300, it throws the plan of Izzy being a main event, co-main event. I'm not sure. I'm assuming he's going to get top billing to fight on UFC 300. But again, huge risk from that standpoint. If either of these guys get injured and can't do it, really fast turnaround, now we don't have a main event. My thinking, of course, is that the UFC is kind of going to wait and see how that plays out before they announce what that main event is going to be at UFC 300. But at the same time, they do have to kind of start building it, right? We're essentially 4 months out from UFC 300. People start their training camps about 3 months out, that type of thing. So starting to get the wheels moving for UFC 300 is probably something that they're going to want to do. Now, the other name that's been put into the mix is if Israel Adesanya fights Khamzat Chimaev. If Israel Adesanya fights Khamzat Chimaev. But there's another risk here, because UFC 300 is taking place in the United States. And for the last couple of years, ever since Russia invaded Ukraine, there have been rumors that Khamzat Chimaev has had passport issues. So he's had difficulty fighting in the United States, which is why he's really only fought like once a year since Russia invaded Ukraine. That's what the word on the street is. So once again, we have the risk that if Izzy is matched up with Chimaev, again, this is a superstar fight, can they get these passport issues resolved before UFC 300? Are there even currently passport issues? I don't know. So because of these challenges, I think it's hard to put Israel Adesanya on the UFC 300 card. There's no guarantee that the person he's supposed to fight for the middleweight belt is going to be well enough to fight on the UFC 300 card. There's no guarantee that the person that they want, which I think is probably Dricus Du Plessis, is going to be good enough to fight on the card April 13th, UFC 300. The only other name that, seems like a big enough draw is Khamzat Chimaev, but again, there's no guarantee that he can be there in the United States for UFC 300. This is the challenge. Who does Israel Adesanya fight? And is it going to be for a title? Would it be for an interim championship, right? If he fights Chimaev, would it be for an interim championship if neither of the two that compete at UFC 297 are available? These are the questions I have. I'd love to see Izzy back. I'd love to see him on the UFC 300 card. But who does he fight? Thanks for watching.